Detroit, Michigan, Motown, motor capital of the world, the Motor City. This is where it all began more than 100 years ago. This is the real deal. No posers and wannabes here. In the Motor City, hard-working, hard-muscled cars fuel the fire in your belly and put the world on wheels. Behind every wheel, there's a story. This is Motor City Wheels. I'm Randy Burdo here in Detroit where it all began. Host of a new show focused on the machines of Motown. We call it Motor City Wheels. If cars could talk, what a story they could tell.
The Corvair was an air-cooled, rear-engine, flat six-cylinder car. You could only develop so much horsepower out of it. The poor man's Porsche, and that's exactly what it is. They have a little cloud over them from Mr. Ralph Nader, who challenged that the vehicles were unsafe at any speed. The Corvair pickup, 1961. I've been looking for one for several years. They're kind of thin in the herd. One would pop up and it would either be too rough for me or be too out of my budget, one or the other. A gentleman pulled into the parking lot with a Corvair ramp side truck, so I went over and started talking to him right away. And of course I said to him, "You think you'd want to sell this?" He said, "No." So I gave him my business card and said, "If you ever get one you don't want, would you call me?" And he said, "Yes." So a few months went by. I'm at the same cruise night, and my phone rang, and this guy said, "You still interested in a ramp-side Corvair?" I said, "Yes." There it sat, looked good from just sitting in the car. We got out, looked around, he threw me the keys, said, "Take it for a ride." Went around the block, I come back, negotiated, and bought it that night. The ramp side truck has a ramp on the side that has two handles you release and it drops to the ground, and you can dolly a refrigerator, roll your lawnmower up into the truck. It was a very, very great idea. We use it.
For true car lovers, there's always that one car, like a first love, will always be in your heart and your dreams. If this next story doesn't leave you with a tear in your eye, your heart's not firing on all cylinders.
I found the car about 2 years ago.
To whom it may concern, my name is Scott Bachman. I have been searching for the past 20 years to find the missing piece of my childhood.
I was driving down the street and I happened to glance over my shoulder and I saw this, what looked like a Corvette in a garage.
My dad had a 1973 Corvette convertible.
So I went in the garage, we talked some numbers. I picked it up 2 weeks later after I got back from Florida.
He purchased the car on 9/26/1975. It was his pride and joy.
I opened my mail and I see this handwritten letter.
It was orange with black interior. He even added side pipes to it. I know this because I remember burning my legs on them.
And I kind of was like, whoa, what's this?
When he died in 1977, my mom sold the car. I have always wondered where the car was or even if it is still around.
I looked at my wife, I'm like, oh boy.
Over the last several months, I have searched countless Corvette sites, forums, and local Corvette clubs, all to no avail.
Did Scott ever find his dad's Vette? Did late-night visions from his late dad and eerie premonitions tell him, literally, where to find the car of his dreams? Join us next time for the amazing answer.
I'm Margaret Dunning. Some people call me the original car girl. But you're watching Motor City Wheels. Put some of this in. Run it a couple hours.
Detroit's original car girl is 104-year-old youngster Margaret Dunning, born June 26, 1910. and this feisty dynamo is still going strong today. She grew up in rural Dearborn, just west of Detroit, and still travels the country with her collection of vintage cars. Her first car was a 1923 Ford Model T. Her family's farm was adjacent to another family farm by the name of Ford. As Margaret tells it, old Henry was friends with her dad, Charles, and would stop by for some of her mom's famous pie. While there, Henry would rock baby Margaret in her cradle. Today, among her large collection of Detroit wheels is her pride and joy, a 1930 Packard.
Every detail is extremely well done, and it brings that car. Watch any ornament on any cars you are taking because they're worthwhile. But this one, it just happens to be what Don Summers calls the first class.
These are just a few of the many stories that fire the hearts and fuel the dreams of car lovers all over the world. Fire it up on all cylinders and join us next time for more high-octane stories you can only get from Detroit. Motown on Motor City Wheels.